Oh, hey there. So I have a momentous occasion in my life. I have decided to make a video. Since it's my first video, I hope you excuse the janky editing or bad lighting. I will work on it in the future. So, what's this video going to be about? I received a package today, all the way from China. After much scrimping and saving, I managed to get a super cheap electric furnace. Let's find out what's in here. At least according to the included manual, I have a SY001 red. Not the black, the red. As you can see, it is primarily written in Mandarin and then secondarily in English. It's a very well made for the price manual, so put that aside for now. A mysterious free gift, according to them. What do we have here? A single carbon ingot mold. Yeah, you can see that's very much made of carbon. Graphite, I mean. We have our power cable, put it back in there. Let's see how long this bad boy is. So the first impression of this package I got with it was, wow, not surprisingly light, which tells me that this thing doesn't have the best insulation, seeing as it's going to get up well above 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit or 1,150 degrees Celsius, at least according to the manual right here. This is an outside-only device. So I'm going to go with maybe 120 centimeters, about 4 feet, a little less. Next, we get our insulated tongs. I don't suspect these things can actually hold up to heat, at least the handles. This should be fine for the temperatures we're doing, at least for the brief moments that we're going to reach in, grab, and then pour. And it's already slightly misaligned. So this bad boy is actually very well packed. Like, there's little compartments, as you can see, for the various elements. This is where the graphite was. This is where the tongs were. Cut out there. And this thing is sort of suction cupped in there by what I can imagine is only the force of packing material rather than any actual intent. But let's get this bad boy out. I am intending to use this as the storage place for this device. Keep everything nice and tidy. There we go. It wasn't a packing material, but this piece of metal back here digging into the packing material. Nice and off to the side. So this is the main event, but before we get to that, let's go in for what's left. On the bottom we have the opposite side of the packing material. Lift that up, and we get the second most important part of all this package, the crucible. We'll deal with that in a second. Well, as you can see, more pretty good packing there, though this is non-optimal because they were trying to put these gloves in there. Gloves are actually a pretty good size. I have surprisingly big mitts, though that might not come through on camera. And yeah, my hands are a little bit squished in there, though it already has a crack on there. But for a little less than $300, what you expected? you get what you pay for, and I could afford cheap. So that's all that's left in the box. So these are so that the searing hot 2,000 plus degrees that this thing can eventually put out doesn't burn the dickens out of you. And trust me, with my previous experiments, that's a problem. So let's get to the second main event, because why not? Unpack this gently, because you're going to put that back. And here we have a actually very surprisingly well made graphene crucible. The capacity, as you can see, is not huge. Mind you, it's not nothing, especially again for a little less than 300 bucks. I'm going to put in a little jump cut here. So I'd call that roughly 1.5 inches, or for our metric friends, about 4 centimeters, and just shy of 6 inches deep. So roughly, I'm going to call it 17 centimeters deep. This is meant to actually go into the main event, which is now officially what this thing is called. So does it unwrap from the bottom? Lift that up. Note to self, don't do that again. Please God, don't do that again. Alright, so you just lift that up. So this thing is an electric version of a mini melting furnace. Oh, thank God, no cracks. And what that means is basically this thing down here is basically a whole bunch of electronics, and they take power from the wall. This is a 110 or 120 volt one, so it actually can run on American standard power. The same company produces a exact same model, exact same price for our everybody else in the world, basically. It does a 240 or 220 volt thing. So you just can set your temperature here. It's an on, simple on-off switch. There is really nothing to complicate this issue. And if we tilt this, you can see that little hole in there. That's a vent hole for escaping gases. And there is really, here are some vents for the electronics and the power port, which this actually fairly standard looking thing plugs into. I possibly could get, yeah, that's a very standard plug. I could get a physically longer one there instead of having to use a thing, but outside, and I'm going to use the thing anyway. And then we have the maker's plate. So, SY Electronic melting furnace. It's made in Italy, surprisingly, or it's an Italian company, and it's mod. It doesn't actually check off which model it is. It says between 1520 2000 amps, and then CY 1K, 2K, 3K. Again, no marks there. It does have one mark, however, and the most important one for us at least. It is confirmed that this is a 110 volt model. So I'm not going to be burning out my electrical system when I do this. Operation is simple as pie. Hit this, set your temperature, well, turn it on, set this, flip that up, beforehand by the way. And then this thing, you put your metal in there, seat it in there, and flip this down. Try and make sure there's no thing. And about an hour later, this thing should have melted your metal. Alright? So, what am I hoping to do with this this thing? Well, to be honest, I want to make a sword, but the capacity on this thing might just be a hair under what I need, especially since I'm not making a truly small sword or a dirk. I am making a true sword, the Sword of Empires, the Gladius. But you're going like, how's this thing supposed to melt steel? Well, this thing is not meant to melt steel. Most electric furnaces can't, at least especially at this price range. I'm going to be making it out of bronze. So, tune in later for a continuation of that particular project. Alright, so just doing a little final tour of everything you get with this thing. You get your power cord, which you can see while I was talking about it being a standard cable. You obviously get the main event, as it were. Ooh, ah, the cheapness. Then you get your, working with a stand here, your 2 gloves. Nice little extension out there, though, as you can see, already cracked. You get your claws, little ingot for overflow, or if you're into that, then your crucible. And it's white insulation in there, so I assume it's going to be some sort of plaster of Paris. Then, as I was saying, the mysterious gift. I'll check that out later. And then, of course, surprisingly well-made manual. Have not gone through and actually looked at the translation yet. I'm expecting mostly good, at least getting across. But yeah, this is actual paper, not that glossy stuff, which, you know, well, except for the outside. But hey, and a list in Chinese of some of the other products that this company makes, including several jewelers' lays, which I am very much interested in. But that's for another day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you want to support the channel. And thank you, and have a great day.